Hello traders, so welcome to a new educational video. So in this video we'll be talking about demand and supply zones. So if you already know about demand and supply zone, then you must be knowing that stock market is nothing but a game of demand and supply, right? So in the most easiest way, if I can explain, let's say in the most easiest way that people understand stock market is that whenever there is more buying, automatically price goes up, right? And whenever there is more selling, the price goes down, right? So this is where we'll be talking about demand and supply zones. So many people are confused regarding these terms: demand, supply, support, resistance, buying, selling zone. So I'll just try to clear all those doubts today. So what I think is, no matter what kind of trading you are doing, either a swing trading or intraday trading, you should always have this demand and supply zones marked in your chart in multiple time frames, right? So if you are a swing trader, then probably you might be using 1 hour, 4 hour and the daily. And if you are a pure intraday trader, probably you are looking into the 5-minute, 15-minute and the hourly, right? So no matter what kind of trading you are doing, I would suggest you to have these demand and supply zones drawn in your chart, which will help you very much in your day-to-day trading. So we'll look into that today. So let's just imagine that there is more buying in the market and the price is slowly going up. So there comes a particular point where, let's say, the people have started taking profits, like they must have made a profit by buying here, and after reaching a particular point, let's say people have started to take profit. So what will happen? So automatically selling would be more and the price will start to go down. So I'm not talking about any particular time frame, because this happens in all the time frames, whether it might be 1 minute or the weekly or the monthly. This happens in all time frames. So just try to understand it. So price goes as you keep buying, okay? So there comes a point where people start taking the profits, okay? And at that point particularly the price starts coming down. So this particular region from where people have started taking the profits, or let's say this particular place from where the selling started, is nothing but, it is called as the resistance or the selling zone. So this is all same, okay? The supply zone or the resistance zone or the selling zone, this is all meaning, like this, the meaning of all these three terms are same, right? So don't get confused when you hear supply zone or resistance zone or selling zone. So this all means the same. That means there is a particular area in the chart where people are taking profits whenever price reach there. Whenever price reaches there, again people start selling their stocks and the price again goes down. As you know, whenever you buy, price goes up. When you sell, price goes down, right? So when people started taking the profits, slowly this price will come down, 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 and there comes a particular point where people get interested in buying the rates, in buying the particular stocks, because the rates are low now. So now you can say this is a higher price, right? Because in your chart it is at a higher place and this is at a lower price. So the basic fundamental of profiting in stock marketing is buying low and selling high. So this is a low place and this is a low price where people get interested in buying the stock. So when the price comes back to a particular region in your chart, it's a particular price from where people start to buy, they get interested in buying, and by seeing that particular momentum, more people join in and slowly the price starts moving up. So automatically this particular region in your chart from where the buying started will be called as the area which is support, or let's say the buying zone. So these three terms, that is the demand, the support and the buying, these three are all meaning same, right? The meaning of all three terms are same. That means there is more demand in this place to buy, or let's say there is support in the place in this particular price for like buying the stock, or let's say people are buying the stock here at this area. So that's why it's called buying zone as well. So generally what we assume is that whichever let's say time frame you are in, price generally moves inside the supply and demand zones, and it trades in this area for some time before breaking out, and then it goes to again some different price area and stays there. So like we generally believe that it always oscillates between a resistance and selling zone. Okay, so coming to your trading like practices that you should actually follow. So what I generally do is I generally draw my supply and demand zones in the 4-hour chart, because I am mostly into swings. But let me tell you, even if you are into intraday trading, that is either 5-minute or 1-minute, I would ask you to draw your supply and demand zone in the 4-hour chart, because these demand and supply zones, which actually you can draw in the big time frames like 4-hour and the daily, will actually let's say it will act as like reference points when you are taking a trade intraday. And if you know that your resistance zone is somewhere nearby, you won't buy at that place, because you know there is a huge resistance zone just in front of your price, so you won't buy it. So these kind of markings in your charts will always help you in your intraday trading or the swing trading that you are doing. Okay, so let's start marking the price. So I have here Century Tex stock here, and as you can see, this is a 4-hour chart. Okay, so you should go to your chart, make it blank, just take a naked chart, don't put any indicators, nothing, just the naked chart, and go to the 4-hour chart time frame. Okay, then to make it very easy for you to find out the supply and demand zone, what you can do is change the candles to Heiken Ashi. Okay, which will make it very easy for you to find the supply and demand zones. Okay, so now if you see from this particular area, let's say if you can consider, the price is going up, and there comes a particular point where it got resistance. Okay, where it got resistance. So till this point, from here to here, there was continuously buying, that's why the price came up. But here comes a particular point from where people started taking profits and the price came down. Okay, so people were starting to sell, and there came a particular point where suddenly people got interested and they're suddenly buying. So you can see more and more green candles coming as this area approaches. So now automatically this area becomes your resistance area, or let's say your supply area, or your let's say supply zone. Okay, and this area automatically becomes your demand zone or buying zone. Okay, so what you have to see in your chart are multiple points which can lie in the same line. Okay, so what I generally use is the rectangular box tool to mark these positions. So I'll just take the rectangular boxes and I will try to mark it in such a way that at least all these tops should be touched together, right? At least all these points should be touched together. So to validate a particular supply zone, you need to have at least 2 points. So let's say you are in 22nd June right now. Okay, so only this much trading has happened till now. So what you have seen is, like, from here price reversed once, and then price again went to that point, again reversed, starting reverse. So now 2 points are enough to actually take it as a big supply zone, because we are working on a big time frame, that is 4-hour time frame. That's why it is a big supply zone where heavy selling is going on whenever price comes to that point. So now when you have drawn this particular box, now the benefit of having this is, whenever in future the price comes to that point, you can trade according to that. So we'll go into that part once we have completed drawing the both the supply and demand zones. So now when price comes to this lower part, you can see it is trying to save this particular price. The price is not trying to go below this particular level, even if once it went back, but next day was a high gap up, and again the price tried to save that particular price. So that means automatically this particular region should be my buying zone. So what I'll do, let's say I have now 2 days of 3 to 4 days of different trading, and now you know there are 2 different points where buying came in. So automatically what you can do is you can draw a box there which actually connects these 2 points, right? So it shouldn't be very accurate because we are on a bigger time frame. You need not to be very accurate. You just have to make sure that all the points are getting touched. So now when you extend both of these supply and demand zones, what you can see is the price did oscillate between this demand and supply zone for a very long time. So from here to here it was just below, inside this supply and demand zone. So from 8th of June to around August, so that is around two and a half months, it did oscillate between this particular demand and supply zones. Then what you can do is, this is a major supply zone and this is a major demand zone. So now you can draw intermediate supply and demand zone. So what I can see is, this was purely up and down movement between demand and supply. Then from this point you can see here a particular resistance was there, it came back down, went back again. This area had a let's say a resistance. So what I'll do is, I'll draw one more box there because that is an intermediate area inside my big area. So just I will extend that. Okay. So now once you have all the major supply and demand zones in your chart, what you can do is, you can change your candles to the normal candles that you have. Okay. And then what you can do is, you can go to the 1 hour time frame, and now it would be very easy for you to do swing trading. So let's say you are swing trading. So 1 hour is the time frame that I use for swing trading. So what I want to see is, once I have this demand zone, so what I will wait for is the price to come down and show some support here, showing some support, and then a green candle would validate that yes, people have started buying. So I can go inside and buy until the price goes back up till the supply zone. So it is not required that it will go back to the supply zone. I generally prefer taking at the center point, which is actually the POC. I have already explained this in the value area trading. Okay, so this will definitely help you once you have these kind of zones in your chart. And you can also see, when price crosses this particular region, I am willing to see these kind of candles, right? I'm willing to see these kind of candles which clearly rejects the down area. So which clearly rejects the areas, like it is actually indicating to me that the buyers are not willing to take the price back inside this particular box, because it has already spent a lot of time inside this box. Now that the buyers have finally taken it out, they won't let the price go back inside here. And further again, once the price comes back here, again at the same area the demand comes, because which was previously a supply zone, once that is broken through, it becomes a demand zone. So that is the best part of these zones. It actually reverses, which was previously a supply, right? And whenever the price breaks it, that becomes it becomes a demand zone. So same for demand zones. If there is a demand zone, or let's say a buying zone, whenever price breaks that zone and comes back to test it, that becomes a supply zone. So what will happen? People will start selling it. So what you have to understand here is, see, it's very easy to understand if you think it like this way. There was a war between the buyers and sellers. Sellers are sitting here, right? Sellers are sitting here, buyers are sitting here. So buyers are sitting here. So at this particular point, the buyers actually defeated the sellers. Okay, so the buyers actually defeated the sellers. So the sellers will run away from this position, and these buyers will come and sit at this position. So I want you to understand the psychology at this particular point, right? So what happens when a particular resistance is broken? The sellers are actually defeated at that position, and that particular positions are taken by the buyers right now. So that's how wars are also won, right? Won, right? When we won the Kargil war, so they were previously the Pakistani people were actually taking that particular area, but when the Indians won that area, so we took over that area. So that's how happens in trading as well. It is a continuous war between buyers and sellers. So when buyers are winning a particular battle, they take the position and hold it until sellers again defeat them. So this is how it works in trading as well. So now that was all about swing trading, right? That was all about swing trading. It can easily help you for swing trading. So now let's say you're doing intraday trading in the 5-minute and the 15-minute. So what else is required is when you're doing intraday trading, I think yes, this will definitely help you. But when you are somewhere here, because see, from this point to this point is actually taking, I think 3 or 4 days, right? So probably this is one single day with 6 candles of 1 hour. So here you don't have any supply and demand zones. So how would you actually trade there? So that's why if you're doing intraday, what else you can do is you can go to the 5-minute time frame and then start drawing the intermediate supply and demand zones. Okay, the intermediate supply and demand zone. So these, the big red color boxes are the main supply and demand zones. So now going inside the 5-minute, that means you are going into the microscopic view and drawing the intermediate zones. Okay, so like this. Now you can clearly see this was a particular point that we have already drawn, where in the 5-minute it was a resistance. Can you see the price is not able to close over this price? So you can extend these kind of places, these kind of spaces in your chart, and you can see price is getting either it is getting a support or a resistance at these points. So as I said, whenever a particular support is broken, next time whenever price goes to that point, it becomes a resistance. Right, it becomes a resistance. So these kind of small points you can always mark in your chart. Like here I can see one particular position, you can see. So these kinds of points are always helpful. You can see it was a pure demand zone, then it was broken, and see resistance, then it was broken. So automatically whenever this was broken, so automatically this zone becomes a demand zone. So when price came back to here, it got a bounce. So the same funda, no matter which time frame you are making, 4 hour or the 5-minute, you have to make these zones in your chart, so that the next time when you are doing intraday or swing, you know which are my zones which are nearby. Okay, so you need not have to be very precise. Okay, you need not have to be very precise. You just have to make sure that you touch the maximum number of points here. So it will take little time for you to draw this. I think practice is most important here. It took me a lot of time to actually draw these things in charts when I started. But nowadays, whenever I see a naked chart, I automatically start drawing, and it would take me just 5 minutes to draw all the major and the minor ones on my chart. So now the next thing would be, now in whichever time frame you have made these supply and demand zones, the next thing that you have to remember is, see, when you create a let's say a supply zone in the 4-hour time frame, so this is a supply zone as per the 4-hour time frame, so that much time is being taken for that particular let's say the reversal to happen. So if you have this particular let's say supply zone in your chart, and you go to the 5-minute, okay, and you would expect the price to reverse fast, it won't happen, right? If you can see here, see the price went here, stayed there for some time, it is a second attempt, it is a third attempt, and then it got failed and started moving down. So that's why I said this was a zone that you made in 4 hours. So don't expect this particular band to work for you in the 5-minute. But yes, it will definitely tell you that this is a resistance zone, but you need to be sure that to take confirmation in the bigger zone. Okay. So now, what kind of zones can be helpful in intraday? The kind of zones that you are making in the 5-minute chart. Like let's say this is a particular resistance that you made in a 5-minute chart. So automatically you can see that in 5 minutes is working well. So within 10 or 20 minutes this broken, and the next 10-20 minutes it got support. So this is all happening within 30-40 minutes. But when you draw a resistance and supply zone in a bigger time frame, that will work in the bigger time frame, right? So that's why whenever I get into a trade, let's say you are getting in an intraday trade, I first go to the 4-hour time frame, right? Try this particular technique from the coming trading day that you will have, right? The coming trading day. First you see where is the price in the 4-hour time frame. As I already said, the price tries to oscillate between the demand and the supply zone. So if you see that, let's say the price is making red candle in the 4-hour on the supply zone, then you know you are looking to sell. So what I will do, I'll just mark this point. Okay, let's say this is the zone, okay, where I know that selling is going to happen. So I'm marking this zone, okay, in the 4-hour. I'll just delete it. I'm marking that zone in the 4-hour, and then I'll go to 5 minutes, and then I'll look for that marking. Let me check. Where is that zone? Where did I mark that? Okay. So in this area, in the 4-hour chart, I found that yes, selling is happening. So what I'll try to find, I'll try for reasons to sell. I won't try to buy this particular trade because this is a big supply zone. So I will only try to sell whenever an opportunity rises. Okay. So probably what I will do is I will make a particular like let's say this is a particular congestion zone, or let's say consolidation. So whenever the 5-minute candle breaks from here, I'll take a trade for a 1% move. Okay, then again these kind of moves, and the price is steadily going down. So these kind of moves you can look for selling, and you know the direction, because the most important the biggest confusion that people have in intraday is which side to sell, either a selling side or a buying side. So I would ask you to first see in the 4-hour time frame. The moment you get inside a trade, first look into the 4-hour time frame and see where is the candle right now. Okay, go to the 4-hour time frame and see where is the candle right now. If the candle is somewhere in the top part, I would look to sell, because I know that somewhat price will try to go back to the down zone. If my candle is somewhere here, I would try to look for buying position, because this is near the buying zone. So people are buying in this area so that the price will go back up. Okay, so like this area, let's say this area, I'll just mark it. I'll just mark this area. Okay, then what I'll do is I'll go to the 5 minutes. I'll try to find that particular area. Okay, so these kind of areas, what I'll do is I'll try to buy. Okay, I'll try to make areas where the price is consolidating. Okay, I can see a clear area which is getting consolidated here. So what I'll look for is the break like this. This breaks with volume actually tells me yes, buyers are suddenly interested. So see, whatever position building is there, that doesn't happen within half an hour or 1 hour. I generally see, like in these kind of areas, the general time that is taken is around let's say see, this is 21 hours because it's 1 day apart. Okay, so 2 hours. See, after this is 2 hours, then the next day came, and then from the next day itself it took around 1 hour. So total 3 hours of consolidation and position building, right? And position building before the buyers finally took out, and then you know that there would be a demand in the price. So you will look to only buy until you reach somewhere in the POC area, as per the value area trading that I have taught you before. Okay, so this was an easy chart, that is CenturyTex, because the price was very normally moving inside the demand and supply. You might get complicated charts, but it would be easy once you do more and more practice. So after you see this video, I would ask you to go back to your naked chart, remove all the indicators that you have, and then start building your demand and supply zones. Okay, and then you go into your intraday time frame and check if it can really help you or not. So I think that's it for today. If you really like the video, please like it and subscribe it. If you have any queries related to it, you can just message me at my WhatsApp number here. There is a Telegram channel that I have. You can join my Telegram channel here. So I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Keep learning, keep trading. Bye bye.